have won it on a walk-off line drive base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports.
Really? Is it just missing today? No open.
I could check tomorrow.
Yeah. That's interesting. Good morning.
The brass is really messing with you today.
Yeah. Bill Brasky. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Doodle-doo-doo.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
Okay.
And the limit's 10.
Oh, all right. I mean, that
No.
doesn't feel like you failed or anything. Good. Any consumption of said crab yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Night of. It's pretty good.
Good stuff?
Good stuff.
But it's really more about the bonding, right? A bunch of, is that family and friends? Or
Yeah. So
uncles
this
and-
time we invited a few more of our friends. Your guy, Joe Cook, he came along.
Joe was there?
Yeah.
Okay. How many, were you in like an Airbnb, a house,
Yeah.
or how many in the house?
There was 13 of us.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What size place?
It had 4 bedrooms, like pretty good size.
Was it comfortable or a little too crowded?
Yeah, it was comfortable.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good, a living area, an outdoor area, or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Cool. Same place you go to, or just you find
Oh,
a
we
different one?
used to do like Motel 6.
Oh, God.
This
so
is
you've
like the first
upgraded.
time we did it like good. We like had a great idea. Like the last 2 times it was go to Motel 6, eat, go to bed, wake up, fish, go home.
Yeah. So you're not really in the place you're staying much. So
Yeah.
since you had a place, were you there more often? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Or you basically fishing, crabbing most of the day?
So like the first day we got there, just checked everything, just checked out the place. Next morning, woke up, fished, came back, partied, got up,
Rinse and repeat.
went home.
Yeah. But I saw you would send some things, or I saw some stuff. You guys were able to, you had like TV. You were watching Kings and different
Yeah,
things at night,
yeah.
and sporting events.
What was good? There was a few Laker fans there for the
Oh,
Laker
was it
game.
Kings? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How much fun was that?
Oh, it's fantastic. Then the Laker fans are arguing with each other. You told me to bet him.
Oh no, really? That was good for the Kings group. Yeah, the Kings are on a roll. We're going to talk about that today. Yeah, I think if you do a trip like that, I think the Airbnb is the way to go. I mean, there's different kinds of trips because I'm not anti-hotel by any means or whatever kind of establishment. But sometimes if you got a big group, that way you can keep kind of everybody together. You don't have like 5 hotel rooms.
And it's
or whatever.
cheaper.
It is cheaper. And then, you get your food, you got bathrooms, kitchen, and TVs. And yeah, that's cool. Glad you had a good time. So this was the 3rd annual, correct?
3rd annual, 9th annual Romero fishing trip.
3rd annual, 9th annual. So just so I know, is next year the 4th annual, 9th annual?
Hey, you got it.
Tell me the 9th annual again, part.
So we started off like, let's make this an annual thing. So like, this is the first annual
Yeah.
Romero fishing trip. And I said, you can't do that. It's not an annual. It's just we went fishing.
Okay.
So it's got to start off as the 9th annual.
Okay.
And then someone said, oh, so next year it's the 10th annual. I'm like, no. This is only the second time we've ever gone out there.
So
the second annual, 9th
annual.
annual.
So now we just crossed off the 3rd annual, 9th annual.
Yes.
Will the 9th annual ever be removed, or does that feel like that's to stay?
That will be the 9th annual
And
Romero
then
fishing trip.
9th annual, 10th annual. So
No, it'll be the 10th annual, 9th annual. What's so hard? I don't know why everyone has a hard time getting this.
So the big number goes in front?
Huh? Whatever number you are on goes in front.
Oh, no, that's fine. But the you're never taking away the 9th annual
Yes.
part. Got it. It's so easy.
Yeah, I don't see
perfect
why you don't
sense.
get it.
Yeah, my bad. Completely my fault. Today on the show, we got plenty to get to today. We are going to visit with Brendan Nunez today. He is our Sacramento Kings Sactown Sports insider. We were going to have Frankie ready to go. Frankie sent us a note yesterday. He's under the weather. How can he be under the weather? The Kings right now are rolling. He's our Kings insider. But we got another one. We got Brendan. He will join us. Niners at 9 today. We will visit with Matthew Barros today. Niners rolling this weekend. So we've got that along with all of our other staples here. We're going to talk a ton of the Kings. We got around the NFL. The Niners looked good again. 4-down territory. We'll recap our 3 in the key and pick 6. We'll have one today. Kings play again today. First back-to-back of the year. Celebrity birthdays, all that, and so much more. Maybe even the so much more you just don't know. We've got you and I are both big fans of Saturday Night Live. They poke some fun at Draymond Green, which we'll hear a piece of that a little bit later in the show as well. Overall, I would say, Chris, an okay episode with Jason Momoa. It was fine.
But like I said, my favorite sketch of the year, of the season.
So Chris sent me a text yesterday, did you watch? And I'm like, I'm assuming SNL, ? He's like, yes. And I said, yeah, I think up to the news. That's generally my thing. It was a later Saturday night when I started to watch it. So getting a little sleepy. Always try to make it to the news, and I had not watched after that. And he's like, well, you've got to watch after that, or see if you can guess what my favorite sketch of the year is. And so I'm looking at my recording, and I go, well, there's not much. I realized I made it to the news, and I can't remember who the artist was, their second song, and I was like, I'm fading. So looking at just the distance on like the DVR of what's left of the show, I'm like, oh, maybe there's 2 sketches, maybe 3 at the most. But Chris says his favorite sketch of the season is here. So fast forward through the commercials, get to the second to last sketch. And I knew in about 2 seconds that had to be it. And I have to say I laughed. I don't know if it's one of those that's funny to everybody. It was stupid funny. But I think it was a good fun. Like they were, it might also be weird, but I don't know. It hit the right notes. The way they did it in the, kind of a Netflix sports documentary, Untold. Yeah, they did that part right. And at first it kind of started, I'm like, well, all right. I don't know where they're going with this, kind of a spoof on the Bobby Riggs, not Martina Navratilova, but Billie Jean King, excuse me. Battle of the Sexes, early 70s, kind of famous tennis match years and years ago. And then basically saying that before that, there was someone else. What was her name? I sent you the text. But that was clever. That was well done. It had to be Charna Lee Diamond.
Yes.
Charna Lee Diamond.
Chorna.
Played by one of your favorite characters on SNL, Sarah Sherman. And then Jason Momoa was the giant male tennis player. How big is he, by the way?
He's got to be like, what, 6'4"?
Okay, but they made it like not only there, but like the entire. There were a couple skits like, like he's 6'10", 300. I mean, I don't know what he is, obviously, but it just amongst the cast members, he's big. But we're end up being around some pretty big athletes, and they made it sound like he's the biggest human being alive. But anyway, he's a big guy. I'm not questioning that.
I'm seeing here 6'4", 214 pounds.
He's probably more than 214.
Got to be more than.
Yeah, and he's put together, but still. Anyway, if you get a chance to see that skit, and we will play the Draymond Green spoof. I think they did a good job with that. All in all, though, good weekend, quick weekend. We will talk a little bit about some of the things that transpired over the weekend. I mean, with the Kings playing Friday in the Cup game. I mean, I had a full weekend. Not that anybody is too concerned about that, but from Friday, Kings, Spurs, Cup game. That game was a lot of work for the Sacramento Kings. Saturday, drove across the Causeway at the Causeway Classic. UC Davis was a winner in that. Sunday, yesterday morning, had a banquet for Sac State football. Watched the selection show. Hornets made it in. And we'll talk about this. I'm stunned. Honestly, I'm stunned that UC Davis did not make it in. And then Kings again. So it was a jam-packed, full week end of work, but fun work, right? It's covering sports, talking sports, watching sports, watched a ton of NFL too yesterday. The 49ers, man, Brock Purdy was amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're going to get into that today as well. So we've got a lot to cover. We will get to all of it with you today, and excited to be here for a short week. Again, no Carmichael Dave, but we'll have all our staples here for this 3-day week. And then Thanksgiving, Chris, when that's here Thursday, what's your
gobble, folks?
What's your Thanksgiving plans this week?
Going over to my cousin's house.
Okay. Is that a big number of people?
I think there's going to be like 20 of us.
Oh, that's a good amount. You cooking at all or eating?
I'll probably make something.
Okay. Yeah, we had the potluck here this last week at station.
Where's the food, dude?
That's what I said when I walked in the room, and they were like, "It's right over here." That was one where I didn't bring anything. Usually I do. Didn't bring anything that one. I was just a consumer of the food. Is that bad?
No.
I think when you're on the right side of that more times than not, usually I bring something. This time I just didn't. Kind of ran out of time.
Well, then we have to do stuff and talk on the air, and all the other radio stations are just hanging out.
Exactly. Everybody's hanging out, eating all the food. So it's like, it's our time. It's our time to enjoy. All right. When we come back, leading off, it was a busy weekend. We'll recap some of that with leading off. That is coming up next here on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open. Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's the season of performance event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Fox against Sylvan from Sabonis. Drives it, plants, reaches, scores. 41 points tonight, a season high for De'Aaron Fox. 125-118. Duarte, 7 on the clock. Pocket pass back to Sabonis. Pulls up, the little flip is good. Sabonis now has himself his first 30-point ball game of the season. 12 of 14 from the floor.
Couple of Kings wins over the weekend, make it 6 in a row for the Sacramento Kings. Remember when they were 2-4? 2 straight losses to Houston. Everybody panicking. What's wrong with this team? Trade them all. Not sure about Mike Brown. Monty didn't do the right things in the offseason. 6 straight. Relax. RELAX. To quote the great Aaron Rodgers, relax. yeah, this team is a good team. They're a good team. You got a superstar. We're going to talk more about De'Aaron throughout this show as well. Kings win again, 3-0 on this road trip, 6 in a row, over 500 on the road. They moved from, after that 2-4 start, they were 13th in the West. Got to let the season play out. I got news for you, too. There's still some rough roads ahead. But they won without Kevin Huerter yesterday. Got to try to keep this team as complete as possible. Still, Trey Lyles is out. Alex Len is out. They've got injuries. Now, the most damaging one they've had, and they experienced it, was playing without De'Aaron Fox. But he's back. He's playing at an MVP level. And the Kings are rolling. Chris, want to get your quick thoughts on this on our YouTube. Again, thank you for those of you that are here this morning. Our guy, Kev, says, J. Ross mooched at the potluck, ? Couldn't even stop by the store to buy some cupcakes or a pie. I was told from our boss, like one of his big things, hey, get as many people as you can from the staff to attend. And I actually was going to be one, like, it just schedule-wise would have been better to not be here I just had so much stuff going on. And I said, well, I can't ask everyone to be here and then not show up myself. So was it better to show up without anything, which I didn't do? I mean, because I wasn't planning on going. And then I said, well, you know what? I'll show up. So I didn't bring anything.
Yeah.
So I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like this is the one time I've done that. But
when you walked in, no one was like, that's it?
Yeah.
That's all that's here? No one said that?
One person said, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Nobody did. Yeah. They were already started. I was came down with the midday crew.
And see, from working on the midday for such a long time, when it's a potluck, it's not like we go down there, hang out, have a good time.
No, it's scoop up some food and back upstairs.
Run down during commercial, get what you think looks good, run back up, and hopefully make it back before the commercial.
Exactly. And so I was helping them. I mean, I wasn't helping them out, but I went down at the same time as them because I came back and I'm like, well, I came back just for this and then had to jump back into more things. But anyway, appreciate what you were asking. All right, let's go to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
3rd and 6 from the 9-yard line. Godwin goes in motion through a maze. They got White up to block inside. Young comes around the edge. Baker throws. Intercepted in the end zone by Jair Brown. He makes another play. As Baker Mayfield stepped up and threw in the end zone a deflected ball.
And he is shook up.
Okay, a win yesterday for the San Francisco 49ers. More parts of it were good. There's certainly a big damaging loss to the game. Talanoa Hufanga, the injury there, that was just awful. You feel for him, feel for the team, feel for the defense. That is a key piece to the 49ers defense. And losing him, that's tough. We're going to talk about that more at Niners at 9 with Matthew Barros. Again, football, it's a reality. Injuries happen. Doesn't make it easier. It doesn't make it easier for the individual. It makes it harder on the team when you lose a key piece. So that was the worst part. I think the overall grand scheme of the game, I think there were pockets of the game too that you're like, man, the Niners, like, who's going to beat this team? A couple times defensively, Tampa, I thought was game for this one. They really were doing their part. They made it very interesting in the second half and certainly in the fourth quarter. But in the end, the Niners are the better team. At times, we said this last week with Dave and I, that when they are right, I think they have the highest ceiling when they're fully healthy, when they're playing their A game. I wouldn't pick anybody to beat them. I really wouldn't. That's the status that the 49ers had. If you tell me they are going to play their best game, I think they beat everybody in the NFL. That's not the way the sport works. We know that. It's about matchups. It's about how you play that day. It's about game plan schemes, all those kind of things, mistakes. Well, Purdy was great. Offense looked good. They spread the wealth. Defense had moments. I certainly not nearly as dominant as a week ago when Jacksonville, they couldn't do a thing against the 49ers. So not the same as that, but look, it's about getting wins. Rams helped out the Niners with Seattle losing. And then here comes the next stretch. As Greg Papa told us last week, the gauntlet begins Thanksgiving Day. Remember, we've got this triple header for you. Niners, Thursday night, Seattle, short week. Seattle had some injuries yesterday that we'll discuss too throughout the show. So short week, getting ready for that. After the Seahawks, it's the Eagles, and then the Seahawks again. If the Niners can kind of work through this 3-game schedule in good fashion, in good health, and with a 2-1 or a 3-0 record, yeah, they're just cruising. But it's not how it works. It's not that simple. But I like their chances if they play more like they did for the most part yesterday, and certainly the week before against Jacksonville. All right, let's get to cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
And the Eagles out of timeouts, and the Chiefs will try to go up with a 27-yard field goal by Harrison Butker. Winchester, the snap. The hold by Townsend. The kick is away and good! 27-yard field goal to take the lead with 8 seconds remaining in Super Bowl 57. 38-35.
Rematch of the Super Bowl, Monday Night Football. How about this tonight? I know people are going to be checking out the Kings and the Pelicans, as you should, right here on Sactown Sports. But also, Monday Night Football. We got a good one. I don't know if it'll play out that way, but it's exciting. The Kelsey Bowl, Taylor Swift, sure. Yeah, sidebar. But the Eagles and the Chiefs. The Eagles also beginning a schedule gauntlet. It's probably already started for them, but they've got a tough road ahead. They've been a good team. I think everybody is impressed by their record, but it's an odd, not even start to the season. It's an odd record in the sense that they've got the best record in the NFL, but I don't know that anybody has been overly amazed by how they've won each game. Now, you don't have to apologize for your record. You can have people think less of you and maybe less dominant, but look, this is a really good football team. The Chiefs are really good. It's tough to ever bet against Patrick Mahomes. And these are two teams that made it to the Super Bowl last year and could be another Super Bowl preview tonight. So I love when you get good matchups. I hope the game plays out that way. Monday Night Football set up to be very, very good tonight. Unfortunately, because of Kings, we won't be able to air that one for you here tonight. That doesn't mean you can't, do the old split screen or listen to Sactown Sports and the great G-Man, watch the NFL game. However, just jump back and forth between the two, and it'll wrap up a pretty good week of NFL that will go around a little bit here coming up. But, for the Chiefs, it's just trying to stay the course. Their division, with what happened to the Raiders yesterday, certainly the Chargers, the mess that they are. And, the Broncos, I got to say this, they've done a pretty good job of regrouping from the way the beginning of their season started. They got another kind of classic Bronco win yesterday. I don't know how they keep winning these games, but I don't really think they're the biggest threat to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to win the AFC West, but they're just trying to improve their status and have home field as far as they can in the AFC playoff picture. All right, so that is leading off. Still to come in this hour, we're going to talk about the Kings' wins both on Friday and Sunday as they keep rolling. But next, we kind of have a weekend recap. We previewed the Causeway Classic last week. The game played on Saturday in just a downpour for a first half. Second half, clear skies. And ended up being a big day for Davis, but a tough weekend for Davis, and ended up being a good weekend for Sac State. Doesn't sound right, but we'll explain all that next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Monday. Expected to start out bright, cool, and breezy, but those winds will stream down as we head through the afternoon. Highs today will peak in the lower to mid 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every lower price certified pre-owned Honda is one we buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is the best place to go all in and all out. Go all in at our table games, then go all out to win on the area's only 3-story indoor kart track. Or go all in for our famous award-winning buffet. Then go all out at our state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and beautiful resort hotel, you can go all in for fun and all out for comfort. We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Gobble, gobble, folks. It's that time of year again when the leaves fall, and so do the prices at Elk Grove Kia. We're bringing you Thanksgiving early with deals that'll make your wallet say thanks. This fall, our lot is stuffed with the latest Kia models, and we've carved out incredible savings. Get your hands on a brand new Kia with Elk Grove Kia's award-winning reliability and service you can trust, unlike your auntie's dodgy broccoli casserole. Don't wait until the turkey's on the table. Come to Elk Grove Kia and feast on the best deals this fall. And don't worry if you have challenged credit. Our finance team has over 100 years of experience. They may or may not have even helped a pilgrim or two get qualified. So hurry on down to Elk Grove Kia, where the prices are falling faster than Uncle Bob falls asleep in front of the football game at Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving sale going on now at Elk Grove Kia, located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia, where the only thing bigger than our savings is our gratitude for our amazing customers.
Elk Grove Kia.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
All right, back here on the show, Jason Ross here with you. No Carmichael Dave this week. He's back next week. Short week this week. Couple of shows. We're off Thursday and Friday for the Thanksgiving holiday. Sports world, though, keeps rolling on. Of course, the Kings games over that stretch. Kings tonight right here on Sactown Sports as they try to win yet again. Go for win number 7 in a row. You start to get that win streak above 5. It's pretty significant. And then, you think about in Sacramento Kings history, not a lot of win streaks of this length. They got a few. They had one last year, a 7-gamer, but you do this and it really can propel you into to the positive spot. Like last year, remember 0-4 start, kind of still scuffled a little bit, then boom, won 7 in a row, got over 500 and never looked back. I hope that's what happens for them now. Now 4 games clear above 500 at 8-4. More Kings talk coming up in our next segment and really throughout the show. But we mentioned last week when our Friday Fun and Games, we did a Causeway Classic special there. We talked to Dan Hawkins during the week. UC Davis coach. We've got one more visit with Coach on Wednesday. That's going to be a tough one to talk to Coach because I think about this from UC Davis's perspective and Sacramento State's perspective. The big rivalry game, 69th Annual Causeway Classic Saturday, and it was a different kind of game than I anticipated. As someone that calls the games for the Hornets, I know a lot about the Aggies as well, and we air the games here for UC Davis. Before kickoff, seeing, unofficial point spreads, Aggies were favored by 1. Hornets had a game better record. I really don't know what's going to happen in the Causeway. And the first half, at least the first quarter, was absolutely dominated by UC Davis. They were up 17-0 at half, just absolute downpour at halftime. I mean, just an absolute, the floodgates open, pouring rain. It started and kept into the early part of the second half. And what's interesting is the game was supposed to start at 2 initially on the schedule. It got moved for TV to noon. And ironically, had the game started at 2, there wouldn't have been any rain. But it happened. It rained. It poured. Davis was up. Would never trail. Sac State would make it a little bit more interesting. But, man, the guy of the day, this is as heard here on Sactown Sports, Greg Wong on the call. Lan Larison, that guy is an absolute stud for UC Davis.
4 on the play clock. Larison takes the shotgun snap. He'll run to the right. Larison bounces around the edge, turns the corner. He's at the 10, breaks a tackle to the 5, dives, touchdown, UC Davis. 4th of the day for Lan Larison. It's a Causeway Classic clinching touchdown run for the Aggie superstar, the man, the myth, the legend. Lan Larison does it again.
Hornets would score 1 later, but UC Davis wins 31-21. So they win the Causeway Classic. They win the trophy. We talked about the cement cylinder, and they felt great. They got to 7-4. Hornets dropped to 7-4. And so we're doing our broadcast on the Hornets side of things, and I'll be as candid as I could be. I thought with that win, certainly UC Davis secured their spot. I thought the Hornets were in, but I was really, really nervous. I was really nervous because now you're on the hopes of a committee that's selecting the field of 24. So yesterday morning is the chance to have a senior banquet for the Hornets, and usually we watch the selection show. You go into the banquet. In the last couple of years, the Hornets have made the playoffs. It's the most unique broadcast I've ever finished because all the years doing Sac State football, they've either been a record that's not even worthy. Okay, they've even had a record where they're not in, so you don't. I mean, you can watch the selection show, but it's not a mystery. We can basically sign off, end the season. Thank everybody. Good luck to the seniors. See you next year. Or the last 3 years that they made the playoffs, they've been so good. Last year they were undefeated. It's like, well, they're in. They're probably the 1 seed or the 2 seed, and they've had a bye, and it really wasn't a mystery. Well, this one was a weird one because you think they're going to make it, but you don't know. And so we kind of signed off going, well, maybe next week, maybe not. We don't know. Watch the show. We'll see what happens. So you watch the show. It's more than halfway through the field, and you're going, well, maybe. I don't know. Haven't seen Davis yet. Haven't seen Sac State yet. And then Sac State's name is mentioned, and they're in. They're going to play North Dakota. So obviously there's excitement there. And then I was stunned that UC Davis didn't make it. Now, got tons of messages, tons of tweets, people saying, how is this? Look, first and foremost, I'm not in the committee. Secondly, I thought Davis should have been in. Now, when you hear those that do this, so the committee that have to answer for this, I guess I understand their rationale, but if I'm a supporter of UC Davis, I would be furious. I mean, the first thing almost everybody does is you go head-to-head, and you say, well, Davis beat Sac State. And I don't know that it had to be a situation where it was an either or. I thought both were going to get in. And my best guess I think the Hornets were one of the last teams in. Davis was one of the first teams out. I don't know if the committee, and maybe they did, if they literally had it, those two were the head-to-head difference. If they were comparing, hey, is Davis in or Sac State in? Because Davis' argument is, look, they beat the Hornets. That's their best win. They had some losses on their resume that hurt them, I think, in the end, in losing to two teams below 500. But they finished higher in league, beat them head-to-head. I think they took the overall resume. Hornets have beat a playoff team that's in there in Nicholls State. They beat Stanford, the only team to beat a Power 5 in the FCS. And played all the biggest teams in the conference. I don't know that it's not fair. None of this. When you have a committee and it's subjective, they're trying to make their opinions. It's difficult. I think Davis in the end might have been compared to a team like Youngstown State and some others. I know we're getting into the weeds here. But all that being said, I think they should have been in. I'm stunned. I feel for them. They too had their banquet yesterday. So when we talk to Dan Hawkins this week, it will be a tough one for the coach because you do all you can as a coach, as a player, to get in, and then you put it in the hands of someone else, and they weren't rewarded. So I think they're playing good football. I think Lan Larison, who we heard that highlight from, is an absolute stud. And I don't know if they would have won a game or two or three, or if the Hornets will win this week or not. That's really not the point. It's just feeling like you did enough to get in. The Big Sky is pretty highly regarded. They got 4 teams in, as opposed to the last 2 years had 5 teams get in. So feel for Davis in that mode. I'm thrilled for the Hornets to be in. And, just a weird situation. All right, the other thing we talked about this week and kind of looking back at other things, we mentioned SNL, being big fans of that on this show, particularly Chris and I. And they took their time to do a little spoof. And sometimes, Chris, I always wonder when they decide what they're going to do with their different staff and writers, because we're so connected to sports. Like sometimes when they poke fun at sports, if it always lands, when they have like a LeVar Ball spoof, or like, to me, I think they're always funny, but sometimes there's people in there that are non-sports fans. Do you think the masses thought that was funny, or is it just funny because of just what they're doing? I don't even know if you have to know Draymond Green.
Yeah, it's just, he's a crazy person.
Right. Okay. Well, is he a crazy person or not? Here's their spoof of Draymond Green. This was in the weekend update during news. So here's a few minutes, about 2 or 3 minutes of them spoofing Draymond Green.
Okay, I appreciate y'all giving me this platform to publicly apologize. Okay, so you are sorry. Hell nah. I can't wait to do it again. So why are you so angry? I mean, you choked Rudy Gobert for no reason. I had a reason, all right? Rudy Gobert is a tall Frenchman who's been pissing me off for years. Imagine if you had a 7-foot baguette in your face talking about, you want to do something too. Yeah, but you got to get why the league is mad, though, right? I mean, not really. It's not like I choked LeBron or Kevin Durant. We talking about Rudy Gobert, the 4th best player in Minnesota. Well, this has been a thing with you guys for years. It sounds like you really hold a grudge. I mean, I wouldn't say I hold a grudge, but when someone crosses me, I never forget it. So, honestly, I feel like the whole situation is being blown out of proportion. You choked a man during a game. Okay. Yeah, but I was trying to kill him. So if you think about it, Che, I showed restraint. So you don't feel bad even a little bit? Oh, I mean, I always feel mad. No, I said bad. Draymond, even your own coach called your actions inexcusable and said your 5-game suspension was deserved. He really said that? Yeah. Interesting. What are you writing, man? Just a little list. Stuff I gotta do later. Draymond, this isn't even your first suspension. I mean, you once stepped on a guy's chest. You kicked another player in the groin. Look, Che, I had to kick him in the groin. That's where his nuts at. What is all this really about, Draymond? Look, it's simple. The league is too soft these days, all right? Ain't nothing but a bunch of light-skinned dudes with sideshow bob hair, See, me, I play dark-skinned basketball. It hit different, all right? I ain't dribbling all fancy. I ain't shooting from half court. I'm throwing big men in headlocks, and I'm putting the little ones in a stone-cold stunner like that. But why? Because I'm an enforcer. That's my job. I see my teammates in trouble, and I strangle that trouble. All I care about is the safety of my teammates. Okay, well, what about when you punch your own teammate in the face? You trying to get on the list? No! I'm just trying to understand. You have a very violent reputation. Thank you. That wasn't a compliment, man. Wait, how come nobody ever talks about the good stuff I do off the court? Like what? Did you know every Thanksgiving I go down to my old neighborhood and I whip turkeys at people? Yeah. Everybody running, the birds flying, it's fun. What kind of message do you think your behavior sends to the kids watching? Look, to all you little hoopers out there watching me, I hope y'all learn this. Play with passion, take boxing lessons, and most importantly, be dark-skinned. Everybody. Hey, Wendy, I'm coming for your skinny ass.
I think I missed that the first time. Hey, Wimby, I'm coming for you. Oh, that's good. Hopefully enjoyed that. That was pretty clever. I think that's universal. Speaking of Wemby, yeah, the Kings took on the Spurs Friday in-season tournament game. Kings are 2-0. They got another one coming up this week with the Timberwolves on Friday, and then the Warriors next week to close that out. We'll look at the Kings weekend, Friday and Sunday. Oh, yeah, both wins. We'll do that next.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike to the left hand. Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Don't you just love this time of year and the holidays when families get together to make memories? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters. Those are memories that will live with me forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now gives you the opportunity to find the perfect holiday gift that will last a lifetime. You'll find unique gifts like gleaming accessories for every room, now 20% off. During Naturewood's Holiday Home Sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com. Meshuggah comes to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on November 22nd with special guests In Flames and Whitechapel. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple of people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
3-point opportunity. Graham by Harrison Barnes. Into the front court to Fox. Finds the seam. Challenges Benyama. Score the basket. And he's fouled. A three-point opportunity as Wembanyama came over to try to seal off Fox. And Fox took it right at the 7'3" rookie.
Welcome back into the show here on Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com, the Sactown Sports app, however you're taking this in. Appreciate all of you. Check in on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Text line right there as well as 916-339-1140. We're on YouTube as well. That was a highlight from Friday night's in-season tournament game, Kings and Spurs. Kings go to 2-0. Trying to add some points late, looking for that point differential. That's one of the unique things about the in-season tournament games. And again, I'm getting more excited about the Cup. I've said this before. I think it will get better and better as they get to the knockout stage. And the Kings at 2-0, I think now they're in a spot where certainly if they can get a third win, they got a good shot at either winning the group or at least being a wild card team. And that's Friday when they take on Minnesota. Minnesota's number one in the West. Look what they've done. So it's an important game for them. And then, of course, they come back next Tuesday home. First game back from home at that 6-game road trip. And, yes, Draymond will be back, Kings and Warriors, for the final in-season tournament game before that's all kind of separated. And then the rest of that schedule is figured out. That scheduling committee and what they have to do is just crazy, how they have to schedule all the people that don't advance for 2 more games. And then certainly everybody that does advance, putting everybody into different spots, and ultimately the trip to Vegas. So a lot of headaches there. But in that game, a couple things that stood out, at least on Friday. First, this. I mean, how about Malik Monk? This guy is such an incredible athlete. He's already had, I think, the dunk of the year in that game against Utah to start the year. But this one was close the other day against the Spurs.
See how Sacramento responds. JaVale McGee sets a screen. Malik Monk drives. He went for the hammer, and he gets it over the outstretched arms of the defender. I thought it was going to be blocked, but he somehow powered it down. That brought everybody on the Kings bench to their feet. 88-82.
Yeah, Malik Monk, that was good. It was partially blocked, but he still was able to throw it in. He's got some great highlight dunks. It's fun to watch Malik play. He's in a good stretch. Kings are in a good stretch. They've now won 6 in a row. They go for 7 tonight. The other thing that stood out to me about the game Friday, I'm anxious to see Victor Wembanyama in person. Watching him, and one of my favorite plays of the game was when he was posting up De'Aaron Fox. And there's like a still picture of it that's out there on social media. And I mean, De'Aaron looks like a little boy. I mean, he just looks so tiny next to him. But on the play, De'Aaron was bodying him, and he got Wembanyama to travel. He just was kind of shuffling his feet, thinking about what he was going to do on his post-up, and he ultimately traveled. That was a creative play by the Kings, certainly by Fox, and a moment that I'll remember from that game. And, also afterwards, by the end of the night, Sabonis was a monster. He continues to play at such a high level.
Sabonis up fake on Wembanyama. Drives past him. 2-hand flush. Statement jam thrown down by Domantas Sabonis as he curled around the rookie and took it hard to the rack. 121-114. Kings by 7.
All right, and then after the game, here's Sabonis post-game with the G-Man.
Wow, man, I'm sorry about the confusion, but had the wrong headset there going for you.
Michael doesn't work, so go ahead.
He's
still on vacation since All-Star break.
Yeah, give Michael a little gas for us.
Lock in.
Yeah, lock in. Focus, man, focus.
Okay, we're good now. He's not working.
All right.
No.
Okay, let's quickly, before Shannon tries to steer you away here, your thoughts on how you accomplished this victory after the big comeback by the Spurs in the third quarter.
It was a lot of up and downs. We can't come out like we did in the first quarter, but way to respond by the team. Responded twice, actually, and, that's big. That's all we can take away from this game is how we responded.
And I was a little bit mildly surprised when Harrison launched that 3 in the final second. Shot clock was off. And then I remembered this is one of those in-season tournament games. Point differential can be a big difference.
Yes, sir. Yep. And we know that. That's why we try to get out the ball quick and go.
And Herter got one right before the buzzer.
Yes,
so that's all good. Tell me about your battles and getting to the free throw line and converting tonight. That's got to do your confidence wonders, I would think.
Yeah, of course. That's my job to come out and help my team in any way I can. And today was one of those days.
Well, we appreciate it. I know they're in a hurry to get you back there, and we're going to fly to Dallas and try to get another one on Sunday. What do you think?
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
All right, Domas. Thank you so much.
All right, G-Man there with Domantas Sabonis. That was from Friday night. Kings obviously would go to Dallas. They would get a win there. We'll talk more about that throughout the show, too. Again, Brendan Nunes will join us at 8 o'clock, our Sactown Sports Kings insider. So things are good for the Kings. Now, in that game, we got to remember what G-Man was referencing if you missed the beginning part of Friday's game. Sacramento was down 23-5. 18 points right out of the chute to San Antonio, which isn't a great team record-wise, but you give any team confidence. You got Pop, you got Wembanyama, you got some talent around him. Kings did a really good job of reeling back in, took the lead. I actually thought the Kings were going to run away with the game, but then the Spurs proved to be a tough competitor, and they battled all the way through, too, and Sacramento kind of had to earn it. It's never easy in the league to win, especially on the road, and I just really right now, when you look at the Kings, it's a group that looks so comfortable in what they're doing. And I think so much of that is from De'Aaron and Domantas. I mean, yesterday's game, both guys scored 30, but it's how they did it, how in control of their games right now they are. And De'Aaron, I personally am such a huge fan of his, and I just like everything about his demeanor, his leadership of the team in the way that if anybody is out there talking to anybody on his team, De'Aaron's going to speak up. He's going to protect his guys verbally or step into the situation or do it with his game. Like if they're in a drought, he knows when to go. That maybe has been the biggest jump in his game is, hey, look, it's a 23-5 start by the Spurs. All right, I got it. I'll take care of it. I'll figure out how to get us out of this. When I think he didn't always have that answer, or he just kind of wanted the game to, sometimes he let the game come to him, which isn't entirely bad, but now he's putting his imprint on the game to make sure it goes in the right way for the Kings as much as he can. And I can tell you, he is doing things that superstars do. And Sacramento, you've got yourself a superstar. It's fun to be on that side of things, right? When you can walk into a game and know, and it's a lot of times when we're saying, when Dame Lillard's here, when Giannis is here from Milwaukee, or when Luka or Joel Embiid, Jokic, LeBron, whatever, it's like Curry. Well, as long as you have those guys, you got a chance. Well, the Kings have one of those guys. They might even have two in Sabonis, how great he is. But Fox is so spectacular, so fun to watch him. And between what he's doing, and they are getting enough help from other players. It's not a one-man show. And on a nightly basis, they've had games where the bench helped them get it done. They've had games where it was a heavy starter night. And again, it still feels like there's areas where they haven't played their best game. That's what you're chasing. Still working on improvement defensively, which they're showing us. And the offense is pretty special, especially when De'Aaron Fox is in there. I mean, they're scoring on everybody, scoring consistently, and just have a look of a team that's confident, that can handle all situations, that's now starting to gather that experience of being together for this main group for so many games and have lived through bad road trips, bad games, bad homestands, good stretches, bad quarters, good quarters, tough calls, foul trouble, off shooting nights, incredible shooting nights. They've been through all the different kind of injuries, playing without a player, players in slumps, players thriving. The team has played through all of those scenarios now, and I think has handled them and lived through them. Sometimes you don't handle them well, but that's what they now know. They've gathered that experience of what it takes to get out of these tough stretches, and then now to handle these good stretches that they're currently in. So those are some of the things we'll talk to Brendan about, because I'm impressed with, even different rotations for the time being. Right now, we're seeing a guy like Davion Mitchell, not really in the mix, got in there yesterday, and I thought did some good things when was asked to play, but really hasn't been in the rotation. But they're settling in on a group, and they're still going to welcome back, obviously, Herter soon, maybe even tonight, who knows. Trey Lyles soon. Alex Len's going to be a little while. But the more you can win early on, build your confidence, build your record, build your spot in the standings, let everybody else try to catch you. And the Kings are starting to do that right now. All right, so we've done 1 hour. Still to come in the next hour, 3 for Madness. We're going to spotlight the 49ers and the greatness that Brock Purdy showed yesterday. And speaking of greatness, De'Aaron Fox will dive a little deeper on that in the next hour. But when we come back, we'll look around the NFL, not just the Niners, but an eventful weekend of action around the National Football League. We've got that for you next on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Monday. Expected to start out bright, cool, and breezy, but those winds will stream down as we head through the afternoon. Highs today will peak in the lower to mid-60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
You know what time it is. It's time to trade up to a brand new Kia at Folsom Lake Kia. Trade up to the newest technology with a low payment. Shop Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Most golf professionals will tell you that when chipping or pitching, you should get the ball on the green and let it roll to the hole. That works in most cases, but there are times when a direct line to the green might not be there. Maybe there's a tree or branch you're sure to hit in your arc line. Maybe your shot is uphill to a hole cut close to your ball. This is where the flop shot normally works, but with the reward comes a risk. With the wrong lie, you could swing right under the ball and not advance it. There's also a chance you hit the ball with the wedge's leading edge, making your partners jump out of the way of your ball, which is now flying about 2 feet off the ground. Here's a technique for you to practice. If you're a right-hander, weaken your left hand grip by turning your hand under the club so your palm faces skyward. Now the club face remains open through the hitting zone, giving you a shot that flies higher and lands shorter. Give it a try on the range and experiment with different hand positions under the club. I think you'll be able to take it to the course. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with
I want to remind you that all our guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Still to come about an hour from now, Brendan Nunez will join us. Sactown Sports Kings Insider, also 2 hours from now. Matt Barros from The Athletic talking about the 49ers. Another win yesterday, taking out Tampa Bay. Speaking of the NFL tonight, a big game. Monday Night Football, Chiefs, Eagles, Super Bowl rematch, the Kelsey Bowl. I'm sure we'll get a lot of talk about Taylor Swift. I'm sure we will. But Hurts, Mahomes should be a good one tonight. Look forward to that. As far as the weekend of NFL action, got a lot more Niners discussion coming up. So still way more on the Kings too. So hang tight for all of that here on this very busy Monday. Jason Ross here with you. No Carmichael Dave this week. Shorter week for us. Obviously, Thanksgiving holiday coming up on Thursday and Friday. As we won't
Double, folks.
As we won't have shows for you then, and hopefully you'll be able to mash all the food this weekend.
Where's the food, dude?
That's what I ask right when I walk in the door. Where's the food, dude? Yesterday, we had some games that brought us some drama. The morning games had all those games that, kind of flipped at the end. That's always crazy on the Red Zone if you check that out. Houston continues to do some amazing things. I mean, their win yesterday wasn't anything that blows anybody away, but now they're, 6-4? They might end up winning that division. D'Amico Ryans has done some amazing things for the Houston Texans, taking that job, leaving the 49ers. Here he is yesterday.
For CJ, we continue to highlight the good that he's doing, right? You talk about a young guy who can move the football down the field, right? You're going to have miscues. You're going to have bad plays, but it's all about how you respond to those plays. So we'll continue to highlight all the positive things that CJ is doing, and then we'll also coach him up, right, on those negative plays. And CJ knows. That's what I love about CJ. He knows when he makes a mistake, and he already knows, what he needs to do to fix it. Very coachable, all right, but I know he'll be dialed in on getting better this week.
Well, he threw 3 picks, but he threw 2 touchdowns, over 300 yards. So the rookie has been one of the stories of the NFL season. Texans go to 6-4, 4-1 at home. 21-16 was the final as they took out the Arizona Cardinals. All right, the Raiders. They had won their first couple of games under their new head coach, Antonio Pierce. They've gone to Aiden O'Connell. I thought they were game yesterday. They were battling Miami. That's a tough one to go to, Miami, to try to hang with that high-powered impact offense. But the Raiders were doing it. I mean, they were right there with them. Got the early lead after 10-7. Really there. They just couldn't score in the second half. They had their opportunities. Here's Aiden O'Connell.
I'm learning how hard the NFL is and how hard it is to win. And, just kudos to our defense. Just played so well in the second half, kept us in the game with it. I think they scored 6 points in the second half. And obviously, I don't think we scored. So, our defense did an awesome job keeping us in the game.
Well, talking about interceptions through a couple of Ramsey, including the one late when they're trying to tie the game. 24-41 for him, 271. Did have a score through the 3 picks. Jacobs nowhere near as dominant as he was on the Monday night game that he just kind of battled through to get 100 yards. You had Devontae Adams get 82 on the ground, 82 through the air and a score. They need to find him even more than they did. Here's Antonio Pierce.
They did a good job. A lot of movement up front, a little bit of different looks here and there, not much, but just enough to throw us off. And then we were behind the sticks, and that made it difficult. We'll get back to it. We'll go to the drawing boards and get got to get JJ going. The first 2 wins, 25 plus touches, 14, whatever it was, not good enough.
Yep, I don't think that's a mystery. They are going to rely on Josh Jacobs. They want to be a physical team. They want to run, mix in the pass. I think the defense really has improved. I mean, that was an area that the Raiders they would self-destruct because they couldn't stop people. The defense is much better. I mean, that Dolphin offense is explosive, and they held them to 20. So they gave themselves a chance to win. It's just the Raiders need a little bit more dynamic offense at this point. But they're 5-6. Their road record has killed them 1-5 now on the road. All right, as far as other games of note around the NFL, let's see how it ended as far as some good fortune for the 49ers. This was the Seahawks and the Rams.
Out of the hold of Michael Dixon. Perfect snap. Kick is away. The kick is going to be long enough, and the kick is no good. Myers cannot hit from 55. 3 seconds left. The Seahawks did everything they could to get themselves in position.
That was called from the Seahawks radio network. I think they anticipated it going through. It looked like it might, but then it tailed a little bit. How did it sound from the Rams radio network?
55 yards to decide week 11. Here's his kick. Veering right. It is no good. No good. Wide right. And the Rams celebrate a week 11 victory. 17-16 and only 3 seconds left. The 3-game losing streak is over.
Yeah, much different sound there. Rams get the win. They help the 49ers with the job done there. Here's Pete Carroll after the loss.
This was the most disappointing loss for us today because of the way we did it. And we made it really hard on ourselves so many times in this game with the calls that were made. And I'm not disputing any of them. I'm just saying we made the penalties that happened were just out of line for us. And we have not been good in that area during the season in general, and today really blew up on us.
A couple of injuries too for the 49ers, or for the Niners game this week to keep note of. The Niners and Seahawks on Thursday. Kenneth Walker, the running back for the Seahawks, got hurt. There was a couple of series where Geno Smith was out. Speaking of Geno, here he is post-game.
I really just had to try to do my best to fight through the pain. That was the main thing, is pain tolerance, and just trying my best to just fight through it and keep going.
All right, so something to watch this week. Again, short and quick turnaround Thursday, and we'll talk more about that with Matt Barrows coming up on Niners at 9. So the Niners get a break. They win. They get help with Seattle. Also around the league, we talk about this team a lot because I think they're one of the most frustrating teams in the NFL. I don't know how many fans of this team there are out there, but I always say, gosh, it's got to be tough to be a Charger fan. This team always seemingly has talent. Always seems like they're going to break through, and this is finally the year that they're going to maybe take over that division, beat Mahomes, lead that division. There's just too much there, and the guy that's hearing a lot about this and feeling the heat is Brandon Staley, the coach. They lost yesterday to the Packers, 23-20, and have to deal now with a 4-6 start. Here is Brandon Staley.
I have full confidence, like I've told you, and like I've told you from the beginning, I have full confidence in our way of playing. Full confidence in myself as the play caller, in the way that we teach and the way that we scheme. Full confidence in that. We got to bring this group together and do it consistently, okay? And that's where it's at. So you can stop asking that question, okay? I'm going to be calling the defenses, okay? So we're clear. So you don't have to ask that again.
Wow. Okay. What?
Okay.
Got it? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, where are you on when that's like an extra, I don't know, well, that's like an extra, there's extra flair to that when it's like, okay. Like, I really need you to understand that I'm upset, but okay. Okay.
It's the text that you get, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to make it. Sorry. Wait, notice, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. What's that?
That's you.
Yeah. Some sort of security thing came on there. Okay. That's what the security thing was saying. Yeah, Brandon, I mean, that's also a coach that knows he's on edge. He's probably heard, he knows he's heard the hot seat.
It was okay.
Here's one more from Brandon Staley. Okay.
I'm not here to talk to the fan base. I'm here to talk to my players, the locker room. I know that we give ourselves a chance to win every single week with the game plans that we have. Okay. And we have done it here. You guys act like we've never played good defense. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. You act like we haven't made any improvements. Today in the run game, we played outstanding. We're rushing the quarterback well. What we got to do a better job of is in the passing game. And that's where our full attention is, and it's where it will continue to be. There were a lot of other things that caused us to lose today. It certainly wasn't our defense. It was the way we played as a team. We didn't play well enough on the red zone on offense. We dropped too many passes. Okay, we gave up a few killer sacks. Okay, we did this as a team. Stop making it about one unit, because that's not what happened out there today. Our team lost, and I am fully responsible for it, and I take full responsibility. But we lost as a team today, and that's the storyline.
Would you have 3 OKs or
3
3
Ks?
Ks?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not trying to make fun of it. It's a tough spot. I feel like that's a coach making one last bold statement to see if he can keep his job. I'm not for coaches to get fired. That's not the point here, but I think it's going to happen, and that stinks. It's a reality. He was a guy that when he first started, what caught my attention is, wow, he's not coaching fear-based. I don't know if this is an analytics thing, but he's going for a lot of fourth downs. It's kind of fun. And then as it kept going, I go, wait, now I feel like he's reckless. I feel like some of these don't make sense. What's he doing? Why is he going for that fourth down? So I think he got a little bit out ahead of himself. And then now, anytime you lose, I think they've cost themselves some games when he's coached that aggressively. I don't know if it's a thing where he's lost the team, but the team's not playing well enough. And they've got a good front. They've spent money on that defensive front. They've got a quarterback that I think a lot of people would take Justin Herbert. He's really talented. But I've been saying this for about a year or so on him, that at some point, all that talent has got to start producing some wins, regular season wins, playoff wins, meaningful wins. So I don't know that you can stay in the top 10 of talent as far as at that position if you're not getting meaningful wins. And so it's about the entirety of the team, and I don't think they've got a bad roster. So what is it about the Chargers that just about every week, I mean, honestly, if you're not a fan of the Chargers, but you follow the NFL and you watch the red zone, they're going to be in a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. It happens every week. And then how are they going to find a way to lose? That's what seemingly happens to the Chargers. And if I looked at their game log, I feel like that would be supported. At least that's the vibe I get when I look at their, and a lot of the NFL is decided by close games, but they lost by 2 to open the season to the Dolphins, lost by 3 to the Titans, who now really aren't a very good team, beat the Vikings by 4, the Raiders by a touchdown, lost to the Cowboys by 3. Here's their next 2 games. Next 3 games had some separation. Chiefs got them by 2 scores. They beat the Bears comfortably, beat the Jets comfortably. But the last 2 weeks, a 3-point loss to the Lions, which that was going back and forth. And then yesterday, a 3-point loss to Green Bay. They're going to be in Sunday Night Football against the Ravens. They got the Patriots, Broncos, Raiders, Bills, Broncos, Chiefs. They've got a record of 4-6. They're last in the AFC West behind Denver now at 5-5. The Raiders at 5-6. And, of course, the top team, Kansas City, at 7-2. All right, we went around the NFL. Still to come, we'll zero in more on the 49ers. When we come back, brought to you by Fire Wings. 3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness. That is next.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop. Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, They're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
And again, we have 3 for Madness coming to you from Fire Wings. 21 delicious flavors of wings. Fire Wings, just wing it. We appreciate them. Maybe you can get some Fire Wings this week. You can text us at any time, 916-339-1140. From the 209, can we now put a padlock on the panic button for the Kings? Stop the trade talks until closer to the deadline. Let the coaches coach and players play. That's from Tim in the 209. Well, that doesn't sound very reasonable.
Dork.
Why don't we panic? We got to trade everybody, fire everybody when they lose a game. It's a mess, right? They won 6 in a row. Going for 7 tonight. Things are good in Kingsland.
Things are getting better.
Things are getting better. What do you got for us, Chris, on 3 for Madness, brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings?
Where do you rank the Sabonis-Fox duo in the NBA?
I'm a big fan of both of them. I'm trying to think. I mean, if you're starting to pair, well, for example, yesterday, I personally would rather have Sabonis and Fox over Luka and Kyrie. Luka and Kyrie are very good. I don't like the way. I got to say this.
Oh, it's a junkie!
I got to say this the right way. They're both tremendous individually. As a pairing, I don't know how much they feed off of each other, but
Luka feeds a lot, so
he does feed a lot off a lot of people. Kyrie is so good, and really Luka is too, but I don't prefer their isolation. I mean, but sometimes you see some amazing highlights from those two guys, so I would take them over a tandem like that. Other on the top of like the scoring tandem right now, you got guys like Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Now, those two guys are good complementary, a little bit like Fox and Sabonis. Jaylen Brown and Tatum, obviously Jokic with anybody but Jokic and Murray. There's a lot of good tandems out there.
Dame and Giannis
are, that's a good complementary duo together right there. I mean, that's great. They're right there with that group. I just like the way those two guys play together, complement each other. Usually one's on the floor, but when they're on the floor together, they're lethal. I wouldn't really trade them for much. I'd have to hear the right offer, but those are my guys, Chris. So I put them right at the top, maybe top 2, top 3 in the NBA. Question 2.
Question 2.
Who you got tonight? Monday Night Football. Eagles or Chiefs?
Eagles or Chiefs. By the way, where would you put? Sabonis and Fox.
I put them up there.
Yeah.
What's funny is there's a lot of new
tandems.
Like when you say Luka and Kyrie,
just started. Right.
They've got almost 2 seasons now together completely, and it feels like it's getting better.
It is getting better because they got at the trade deadline last year. It was okay, but now a full season together, it's much better. I take it ahead of LeBron and AD, though LeBron I think is still amazing. AD frustrates me. I don't feel like I get that frustrated with Sabonis and Fox.
No, there's
always moments, right?
There's a couple times where it's like, Sabonis, you can shoot it, right?
Right, shoot that, or the thing is, we watch so many games. Like we're in here with Deuce and Henry every game, and Sabonis will miss some layups, and you're like, how many layups does he miss? Well, he makes the majority of them, but if you watch a guy and they play, and you watch every shot, like how many layups is he going to miss? Well, he was like 11 of 14.
And it feels like he's more confident going to the rim, too.
I would agree. And both guys are now finishing with each hand at the rim, so doing some good things. All right, question 2 was, who do I got tonight, Chiefs or Eagles? I know who you got, Chris. Don't you still have your infinity for your guy, Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, yeah.
What's the statement?
Oh, they're so bad. They're not that good. They're still winning because of Patrick Mahomes.
What's your statement again for everybody on Patrick Mahomes?
He will have 10 Super Bowl wins.
Wasn't it? Wait, I thought there was 10 MVPs, or was it 10 Super Bowl
10
MVPs?
Super Bowls and 10 Super Bowl MVPs.
I would agree with the second statement if he wins 10. Like, I think he's always going to win the MVP of the Super Bowl if they win the Super Bowl. Is he at 2?
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Only 8 more to go.
Only 8 more to go. He'll be it'll be the 2nd annual, 8th annual, whatever it is. Tonight I'm going to take the Chiefs. I just can't. They're a little bit like the 49ers to me. I always pick the Chiefs. They have lost a game or two, but it's always tough for me to pick against Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce's healthy. Travis Kelce is healthy. Kelsey is healthy. They're home. Yeah, I got the Chiefs tonight. You got the Chiefs?
Oh, yeah.
Great googly moogly. We both have the Chiefs. All right. Question 3.
Question 3.
With the 5-game suspension and being made fun of on SNL, Draymond has seen the error of his ways and will not get suspended at all the rest of the season.
Nope.
No?
Not buying that.
You don't think so?
No, I think he's getting suspended again.
Will it be like he does something stupid again, or will it be like he has too many technicals for this?
Well, that's the thing. Technically, that's a suspension, right? If he gets too many technicals. What's the threshold? 16. He's always flirted with that and gets that a lot. Okay, so I'm trying to. What do you think would happen, Chris, if there was another situation? And I can't imagine the situation because I couldn't have pictured the Rudy Gobert thing, because Rudy Gobert really wasn't even involved in Clay and Jaden McDaniels, and then he went over there. And even if we take Draymond's benefit of the doubt and think he's somehow got hands around the neck of Jaden McDaniels, his thought was, I'm jumping on the back of Gobert and grabbing him around the neck and then dragging and will not let go.
My favorite part of that whole thing was when he's got his arm wrapped around Gobert and nobody is doing a thing.
Right.
And he's in front of the Warriors bench, and Gobert at some point just goes, help me, help me.
And like Towns is trying to get his arm, and it's just he can't get him off. So I don't know what that situation would be. He's too much of a passionate player that I'll put him in a game against the Kings and someone's barking at him or talking to him. I don't know if he flashes or gets too agitated. It's just in him. I mean, I think he will consciously at some point think like, hey, I can't do that. And maybe there's other points of restraint that he has, but I just think that's in him. And it's not like he goes crazy every game.
No.
He's not like a crazy guy, but like it's there, that ability is there. And that's what, I don't know how you turn that off.
And the weird thing is because unfortunately we saw it with Cousins, where you would see teams go at him,
right,
waiting for him to get frustrated,
right,
and then his game would just drop off, and
yeah,
then all he's caring about is the referees and stuff. If you do that to Draymond, he goes one of two ways. He either like does something where he kicks someone or
right,
punches someone, or he hits like 3-3-pointers.
Yeah, he usually, if he doesn't flash, he plays better. Like DeMarcus, we always said that, like derailed. Draymond doesn't derail. It almost like, hey, I need to pick a fight with Chris. Chris is going to say something to me, and then I'm going to go off. Not necessarily on you, but it's like, you got me going. And that, to his credit, I think that helps him, but it's that other part where he can't stay out of the issue.
Like he can't find that line.
Yeah, and if it sometimes, like, again, this was not his deal. Like he got into it with the T-Wolves, like that they had played the game before, and he was into it a little bit with Anthony Edwards, but nothing ultimately happened there. He had the situation a couple games before that with Donovan Mitchell, but this wasn't his deal, and he still felt like he needed to get involved in it. And so that, I think, he can't help himself. I don't know why he gets to that spot, but if I had to guess, I think he'll get suspended again. Now the problem is if it's something as significant as an altercation, Chris, if you just got 5 games, that's got to grow, right? I mean, it's got to be a larger one the next time, if there is a next time.
I still think he's going to get the benefit of the doubt
from the league.
The league, he'll have some shoving incident.
Oh, okay. Well, again, now we're defining. Like, I mean, if he has a 2-hand push on someone and just as like, hey, get out of here.
Or it's going to be like grabbing someone and like pushing another person and getting held back, and like everyone's fighting. And then I don't think Warriors fans realize how much of the benefit of the doubt he gets.
Oh, they don't realize that at all.
Like he's just like flat out screaming at every referee all the time.
You saw what social media thought of that. There was like, look, he's just trying, and Draymond's my guy. I live and die with Draymond. And that's fine if that's your guy and that's how you do. But you also have to realize this is something that can happen. And he can miss 5 games, and those games can cost your team. I think it still cost them a championship way back with the Cavs when they're up 3-1. Now they've won 4. They've got rings. He's a huge part of that. Not diminishing him as a player. He's gifted. He's talented, but you got to kind of live with the good and the bad with Draymond Green. All right, that's 3 for Madness, brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more. I want to do a deeper dive on De'Aaron Fox. I'm telling you, this guy is an absolute superstar. The Kings have one. You have one here in Sacramento. Do not take him for granted. Watching what he's doing on a nightly basis, he is as good as it gets in the league. The list of players that are better than De'Aaron, it's a small list now, and he's a king, and he's found his sweet spot, and I love it. The Kings are fortunate to have him. We'll talk about the greatness that is now De'Aaron Fox, and we'll do that next on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Monday. Expected to start out bright, cool, and breezy, but those winds will stream down as we head through the afternoon. Highs today will peak in the lower to mid 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every lower price certified pre-owned Honda is one we'd buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Safe Mart, and Winco, or a local grocery store near you.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of financing options and get free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals for huge savings today.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Mercedes-Benz of Stockton warmly suggests that you add a Mercedes to your holiday shopping list this year. With finance rates as low as 4.99% APR or 72 months on sedans, SUVs, and all-electric Mercedes cars, it's a great time to visit Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Just 45 minutes from Sacramento, right off I-5. Family-owned Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, where we make buying your Mercedes a special event you'll never forget. mbofstockton.com.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
All right, back here on the show, Jason Ross here with you. Carmichael Dave off this week, enjoying the Thanksgiving break. Hopefully all of you do that as well. Last night, another win for the Sacramento Kings. 129 to 113. Friday, they defeated the Spurs in the in-season tournament game. Taking out Victor Wembanyama. De'Aaron went for 40 plus. Last night, more magic from Fox, including this.
Ball tapped out, grabbed by Barnes, swings it over to Fox. 3, yes, he scores again. De'Aaron Fox with his 6th three-pointer of the night now has 28 points. Sacramento with 6 unanswered, and they've got a bit of separation here. They lead 110 to 96.
So De'Aaron Fox right now, to me, has entered the sweet spot of his NBA career. He is a superstar. He's there. He's made it. The Kings drafted him on talent, on ability. Had to go through some growing pains, certainly as a team, and watch Fox grow and develop. The speed from day one was his gift, his superpower. I mean, who's faster with the ball? Not many, if any, in the league. Jump shot needed some work, but he worked on it. Defense, I remember early on working with Doug Christie. Man, De'Aaron Fox can be a difference maker defensively. And I said, yeah, I see it too, Doug, but I sure wish he would do it more often. And I thought that was something that De'Aaron Fox was missing. Kept working on it. And now De'Aaron Fox is a legitimate perimeter defender. Legitimate. Gave him minutes on Kyrie, gave him minutes on Luka. I mentioned earlier he guarded Victor Wembanyama for a moment. I mean, that was kind of a fun moment. Forced him into a travel. You can just see. You can watch any minute of any game and see when De'Aaron Fox is putting pressure on opposing ball handler or whoever's got the ball. His ability to feel comfortable in defending without fouling, putting his imprint and making another team uncomfortable with his defense. So he's grown there. He just, in that highlight, hit his 6th three-pointer of the game. I think the jump shot's gotten much better. His ability to get to the basket is as good as anybody in the league. He has said for the better part of 2 seasons now, I can get to where I need to get. He's right. He proves that on a nightly basis. 4th quarter Fox is a thing. 1st quarter Fox is a thing. 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter. He has also now found his role as a leader of this team in scoring when they need him, assisting when they need him, defending when they need him, taking over a game when they need him. He's a superstar. He is one of the game's great players. And I said this earlier in the show, but much like if you are Dallas, let's say yesterday's opponent, and if I was working in Dallas, I'd say, you know what, if you've got Luka, you got Kyrie, you got a chance. You got a chance every night. They do. You've got De'Aaron Fox as a Sacramento King. And really DeMontis Sabonis in the entire roster. And I am making this segment particularly about one guy, but I want to illustrate how special he is. As long as you have De'Aaron Fox, the Sacramento Kings have a chance to win every game. They do. He's that impactful. He's that good on both ends of the floor. And I think he's got the coach that keeps pushing him. De'Aaron Fox told us right here on this show, on this station, after, let's see, not the season this last year or the first year with Mike Brown, the year prior, where it ended with the Luke Walton / Alvin Gentry. He said, I need structure. I want to be coached. I want to be pushed, basically, in so many words. And this guy had been in the league 4 to 5 years already. Comfortable. He got it. He understood the league. He was already good. Now he's better. Coach Brown has said it. I mean, I remember De'Aaron saying this last year. He goes, man, Coach Brown sometimes says things that makes us feel better than we are. That's what he's doing. He's pushing. He's getting more out of these guys, and he's going to continue to push. Coach Brown would not stop last year saying, we've got 2 All-Stars. We've got 2 All-Stars. They ended up with 2 All-Stars. He kept saying, we've got 2 All-NBA players. They both made the All-NBA team. He's now talking about De'Aaron Fox being an MVP candidate. He is an MVP candidate. Coach believes in him. The team believes in him. And most importantly, I think De'Aaron believes it himself. He's a difference maker. And he's here. And it's awesome to have him. And this season, particularly, when he was out, was an obvious statement of where the team, and the numbers show it, where the 5 games missed. They ended up getting a couple wins, but the offense looked completely different. Numbers dropped, and since he's back, the offense is flowing. The defense, though, it's not being ignored. He's leading that. Yesterday, got his first defensive player of the game crown. He could get many more, will get many more. And he's not quite yet qualified for enough games played, but that's going to happen in a matter of time. He's the league's leading scorer right now. I didn't think he was capable of that. I didn't even think that would matter if he was capable of that. There was a time where De'Aaron, a year or two, or maybe even 3 years ago, would get those 35, 40, 43-point games, and they go, despite the 42, the Kings lost because there was no other help. And I wouldn't say De'Aaron's points were hollow. His points and his timing, it's so much more impactful. If they need a score, he's got it. If they're down in a run, he picks his spots. Again, he has picked. He's matched everything. His experience, his ability, his knowledge of the league, his leadership, his comfort. It's all reached its peak together. And now what's missing are playoffs, right? That's the next step for De'Aaron. Playoff success. He was great. I did not have any doubt if they ever made the playoffs that would be where he would shine. He was great against the Warriors last year. Hurt his hand, still was great. Now he's got to take all of that experience, what he's doing now, and if, in fact, this team makes the playoffs, which it sure looks like they will be a playoff-type team, I want to see him there again and see this kind of version, the full, almost complete version now of De'Aaron Fox. I want to see it. Yesterday, post-game, just listen to this, too. Here's Fox post-game with the G-Man sounding truly comfortable in his own skin.
De'Aaron's G-Man. Wow. Listen, we're just savoring this so much, and there's so many different things to comment upon. But your defensive intensity tonight, particularly there in the second half, going against Luka, tell us what that's like and what you were feeling and trying to accomplish.
Oh, man, you just try to make it as tough as possible on him. One of the best players in the league right now, one of the best players in the world, and soon to be one of the best players ever. It's not much that you can really do against him. I mean, he's big, he's strong, he's extremely elusive, and when he's aggressive, it's almost impossible to stop him. So you really just try to make it tough on him.
3 steals tonight, and so much has been said about you being challenged last year by Mike Brown and again this year to, set a tone on the defensive end. It seems like you've really taken that to heart.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we know we can score with the best of them, and we want to be a championship level team. And for us to be able to take that next step as a team, we have to be better defensively. And that's where we are. And I think we're doing a pretty good job right now, in the first quarter of the season, but we know we have a ways to go as well.
The 5 games that you missed, you came back so strong. Did you surprise yourself at all on the fact that you could be that effective after missing 5 games?
I don't know. I think a lot of it for me was, trying to be in as best of game shape as I could possibly be. But I continued to put in work while I was hurt. A lot of form shooting, a lot of spot shooting. So I think the work is paying off, but obviously I feel like I still have a long way to go.
6 consecutive wins. We all know that winning is so much fun. And when you got your all-star teammate there, Sabonis, going for 32 and 13 tonight, how much does that magnify the fun factor?
Oh, it's big for us, man. We as a team, we love seeing each other do well. And when he's playing like that, I think it's hard to beat us. So, we try to help. We try to put him in position to succeed. And obviously we ask him to do so much, and he's stepping up to the plate, and he's delivering right now for us. And we want to try to keep this groove going as long as it can.
You ready for some New Orleans gumbo?
We definitely are. Got to get out of here.
All right. Thanks, De'Aaron.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That's the G-Man yesterday post-game with De'Aaron Fox, but just listen to him too. I think the other part, just life. He's married, comfortable, father, just everything. There's a good balance with De'Aaron Fox right now. And there's something about it when you're walking into your job and you feel ready, comfortable, you're in control of everything you're doing, and right now De'Aaron Fox is in that spot. And this is where other teams are trying to stop him, put their best defense on him. And really, there's been a handful of games that maybe the game has started and I go, oh, wow, they're putting that player on De'Aaron. This could be And then by the end of the night, you're like, no, De'Aaron did just fine. Had no issues. Got to where he needed to be. Now, there's going to be some nights where he doesn't shoot as well. That's the way the league works. But I think now how well-rounded his game is. Can he be an assist guy? Can he impact it defensively? Can he make steals? Again, he's finding different ways to put his imprint on the game and carry this team. And it is truly fun to watch. And for all those years of losing, to get a draft pick like De'Aaron and also miss on all those draft picks, right? They got one. They've kept him. He wanted to be a King. He has elected to stay here. Certainly he's been paid well to stay here, but he wants it to work here. And I appreciate that about him. I appreciate how he's grown, how he's matured, how he's developed. And again, I'm going to say it, Kings fans, you have yourself a superstar, and it's awesome. Absolutely awesome to watch. Look forward to him tonight. Sabonis, the rest of the crew, but De'Aaron truly something special right in front of our eyes. All right, break time for us. When we come back, and we'll get more about the Kings. I want to ask some of this stuff too to Brendan Nunez, who will join us at 8. But when we come back, the 49ers win. Brock Purdy, he too was near perfect. He was awesome yesterday. We'll talk about the Niners W. We'll do that next on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Pat Green and Diamond Rio live in concert Saturday, December 9th, 7 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. Country music icons Pat Green and Diamond Rio with special guest Mark Wills. On sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Pat Green and Diamond Rio.
Pro football player Travis Kelce is pressed for time during the football season, so he does two things at once. Whether it's grilling while mowing,
Two things at once!
or getting this season's updated COVID-19 shot at the same visit as his flu shot.
Two things at once.
You can be like Travis and ask your pharmacist about getting this season's COVID-19 shot at the same visit as your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Learn more and schedule at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Steel, and Lincoln Electric in-store or at northerntool.com.
Gobble, gobble, folks. It's that time of year again when the leaves fall, and so do the prices at Elk Grove Kia. We're bringing you Thanksgiving early with deals that'll make your wallet say thanks. This fall, our lot is stuffed with the latest Kia models, and we've carved out incredible savings. Get your hands on a brand new Kia with Elk Grove Kia's award-winning reliability and service you can trust, unlike your Auntie's dodgy broccoli casserole. Don't wait until the turkey's on the table. Come to Elk Grove Kia and feast on the best deals this fall. And don't worry if you have challenged credit. Our finance team has over 100 years of experience. They may or may not have even helped a pilgrim or two get qualified. So hurry on down to Elk Grove Kia, where the prices are falling faster than Uncle Bob falls asleep in front of the football game at Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving sale going on now at Elk Grove Kia, located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia, where the only thing bigger than our savings is our gratitude for our amazing customers.
Elk Grove Kia.
Meshuggah comes to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on November 22nd with special guests In Flames and Whitechapel. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Carmichael Dave. He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
First and 10 Niners, and they're 24. Purdy going to can the play here as three receivers right. Ayuk and Juszczyk left, going deep down the sideline for Ayuk. He's got it, and he's gone. 20, 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
I heard that one yesterday in the car on my way in here for Kings basketball. Had a big smile with those two guys, Greg Papa, Tim Ryan, loving that moment, and they had more touchdowns to call.
Debo goes in long motion right. Purdy out of the shotgun, looks left, throws end zone. Caught! George Kittle in the back of the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Kittle has been absolutely on fire in 5 of the last 6 games.
Well, speaking of on fire, the 49ers got the job done. Wasn't the smoothest of second halves, but look, they got that 14-point larger separation there, and then had to kind of really work to the end to get it done, but they got it done. 27-14, beating a more than game Tampa Bay team. Niners now 7-3 overall, 4-1 at home, and Brock Purdy, 21 of 25, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ayuk was the difference maker. Kittle was great. Debo solid. McCaffrey's doing his magical thing. Good play calls, run schemes. I mean, that one near the goal line, the first one of the game, the way it was designed. Now, look, it's always a good play call when it works. Isn't that the way we all always feel? Because there'll be many fourth downs or a third down. Oh, why'd you run that? Well, it didn't work. Doesn't mean it was a bad play. Wasn't executed properly. But with that said, that first touchdown, just the look for our view from television side when there was like that shuffle by McCaffrey. He darts across the line of scrimmage into open space, and it was just so wide open. You could just see it develop. Now, what if that was covered and covered better? Was that a bad play? Same play. It's just they executed it perfectly, and it looked good. They found McCaffrey. Brock Purdy was sensational. And, I was just spent the last segment talking about De'Aaron Fox being a superstar. It was funny, as that segment's going on, we've got, a couple of TVs in here, and First Take was doing a thing about the 49ers. And the question, too, it was Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, and Dan Orlovsky. And I think the question they had, again, I don't have the audio on, but I could read the titles here, and it said, has Brock Purdy done enough, or is Brock Purdy a star quarterback in the NFL? And I think there's a difference here. That's the thing where we're kind of doing semantics a little bit, but superstar versus star. I don't think he's a superstar, but I think he's a star. And Shannon and Stephen A. said no. Dan said yes. And why I would say yes is all the things now that Brock Purdy does on a week-to-week basis. Position is very difficult. He's on a team that can win the Super Bowl. And I don't think people appreciate how difficult the circumstances that Brock Purdy came into last year. Look, if everything went as designed and planned by the 49ers, Trey Lance would be their quarterback right now, right? I mean, that's the situation. He was drafted in that way. They believe that would be their quarterback of the future. And if not, maybe even Jimmy Garoppolo would be their quarterback right now. That if it was by design, right? They stuck a year longer with Jimmy G. It made sense to move on from him. But that was a guy they traded for, helped them get better, helped them win a lot of games, but they knew they needed to upgrade there. So they took an opportunity, drafted and moved up to get Trey Lance. If everything went right, Trey Lance would be their quarterback. Well, Jimmy G got hurt. Well, Trey Lance got hurt. Jimmy G got hurt. And then, hey, we got to throw this Brock Purdy guy in. We kept him. We drafted him, but we ended up keeping him over Nate Sudfeld in that one decision that they had to make, and they were happy they did. And then as he played, you're like, wow, this guy is not so bad. And now that it's truly his job, there's no second guessing. There's no, hey, should it be Sam Darnold? Should it have been Trey Lance? It's not. It is Brock Purdy's job, and he's done a really good job. He's handled the pressure of joining a team that was trying to get to the Super Bowl last year. He's inheriting a team that was crazy hot, and he kept them going. And then when he got hurt in the NFC Championship game, it derailed all their chances. But he's in the same position now. They keep adding to that defensive line. They traded for McCaffrey. They know they've got a Super Bowl caliber team, and it's not in spite of their quarterback. It's because of their quarterback as well as the entirety of the team. And for Brock Purdy to go 21 of 25, 333, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, he makes more plays than he does mistakes. His reaction time to the plays that they call and the defense that is coming is elite. His arm is good. His mobility is good. Leadership, strong. Swagger is pretty top-notch. He's their guy. And I don't know, when you win a Super Bowl, you get into a different category. He's got the goods to do it. I don't see many things wrong with him. So, I mean, I'd put him closer to the star category. I wouldn't put him in the superstar category, but I think he's a stud. I think he's fun to watch too. He's a really good player. Niners are happy they have him. And let's hear him postgame.
Proving myself every drive, every play that I can be the guy for this team, and I have to earn it every single week at practice and meetings, whatever it may be. So that's the mindset.
I think that's a good mindset. I don't think that should be the case. It's his job. I was thankful. I told Dave this, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 weeks ago. I said, I'm glad. I think we finally reached that spot where, okay, Brock Purdy's going to have a bad game or two, but it's not, oh, hey, should they start Sam Darnold? No, they shouldn't. It's Brock Purdy's team. Christian McCaffrey has a bad game. You're not going, hey, put Elijah Mitchell in there. If Debo's off, hey, maybe Jennings. I mean, just no, it's his job. Bosa, hey, isn't that a sack in a couple? Nope. He's the starter. That's what Purdy has done. He's elevated this team. He's elevated the offense. It is his team. Let's hear more from Brock Purdy.
I was more upset with not even like that we were complacent or anything, but almost like, we're just going to walk into the game and it's going to be given to us in the sense like I had to get back to, man, we got to go take it. We got to go earn it every single game. It doesn't matter who we're playing. It's the NFL. Anything can happen on any Sunday. And so that's like the chip that I was talking about.
Yeah, well, I think there's that healthy chip on his shoulder, on this team's shoulder. You got to earn those wins each and every week. They did that. How about Kyle Shanahan?
Brock's a solid, really good quarterback. So he can do, I don't know if he can run a 4.3 when doing a lot of Wildcat stuff, but everything we've asked him to do, I think he's done at a real high level.
Agreed 100% more, again, from the coach.
Real concern. We don't know for sure. Most likely it's ACL, but can't confirm it. So we'll find out later.
That was the worst part of the day for the 49ers. Asked there about Talanoa Hufanga, the injury, the ACL. Just that is the brutal part of the sport, right? When you have an injury of significance, a key player to the defense, that certainly was unfortunate. Here's one more cut from post-game yesterday from Kyle Shanahan.
Say, especially the last 2 weeks after, a little bit of a rough stretch, and just the way he's kind of bounced back in the last couple of weeks.
I think Brock's been great because he's been consistent through it all. I mean, we never felt anything different with Brock during those 3 losses. I think he's pretty realistic, so he doesn't get into stuff that's not that accurate.
Yeah, I think this team knows who they are. They did hit a little bit of a rough patch. They've made it through that. I mean, here they are at 7-3, 7 games to go. I said it earlier. If they play good team football to their ability, I'd pick them to win every time. It's going to be tough to pick a team to beat the 49ers. We'll watch this Hufanga injury, other injuries as the season goes along. But as healthy as they can be, Not a lot of holes in this team. And when they're right, man, I think we've seen that in several games this year. I still recite the Pittsburgh game, the beginning of the year. They came out so sharp. The Dallas game, Jacksonville most recently. I mean, they've had some elite performances this year. So they've shown you what they can do offensively, defensively against really good football teams and just look like they're 2 notches above them. And part of that is an elite run game, Brock Purdy playing at a high level, receivers that could do so much damage. But, I mean, we talked about it with Greg Papa on Friday. It's not that the playbook is more open. It's just that the plays that they have, they can go downfield, have bigger plays. The arm and the read ability of Brock Purdy has been special. And here they go with another win over Tampa and getting ready for a Thanksgiving game against the Seahawks, followed by the Eagles, and then the Seahawks again. And still after that, they've got the Cardinals and then the Ravens on Christmas Day. And then they close it out with the Commanders and the Rams. So, I mean, this is going to be a team likely in the double-digit win column. I think tonight you root for the Chiefs if you're a Niner fan to give a second loss to the Eagles. And if that can happen and you keep winning, I mean, you might be able to decide the division here if you can beat Seattle a couple of times. And then you start working on trying to get the top spot in the NFC. You want as much home field as possible. You want a situation where people have to go through Santa Clara to beat you, where you get a week off, too, with a bye. It gets the people healthy, get everyone else to beat each other up in the NFC, and make it have to go through the 49ers on their home field. That is the path to get them to a Super Bowl. All right, break time for us. When we come back, another hour ahead in the 8 o'clock hour, we've got 4 down territory. We will also talk about who's hot and who's not. We'll recap our picks for 3 in the key and for pick 6 from last week. But up next, our Sactown Sports Sacramento Kings Insider. We'll spend a couple segments with Brendan Nunez. We'll do that when we come back here on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Monday. Expected to start out bright, cool, and breezy, but those winds will stream down as we head through the afternoon. Highs today will peak in the lower to mid-60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Oscar launching for three. Airmails it out of bounds as the horn sounds. And the Sacramento Kings have now won 6 straight ball games to improve their record to 8-4. And they're now a game over 500 on the road at 4-3. Here in Dallas, they had lost 4 of the last 5 overall to the Mavericks. But tonight, they got separation in the late third quarter. Going to the fourth, leading by 11, stretched it out. Led by more than 20 on numerous occasions down the stretch, and they end up winning at 129-113.
That was the voice of the great G-Man, Gary Gerald, who'll be able to hear tonight as well as the Kings right back at it. First back-to-back of the year for the Kings. They're in New Orleans today to take on the Pelicans. But the Kings are streaking 6 in a row. And to help us talk about what's going right for the Kings is our Sactown Sports Kings insider, Brendan Nunez, joining us this morning. Good morning, Brendan. How are you?
Doing well, Jason. Doing well.
Yeah, things a little different than the 2-4 start with 2 just head-scratching clunkers in Houston. They've righted the ship quite nicely here.
Yeah, De'Aaron is playing amazingly. I don't think it's necessarily a coincidence that De'Aaron comes back and they're rolling, but shots are going down, which definitely helps. And again, may or may not partially be factored into De'Aaron Fox coming back, but their all-stars are playing at an all-star level, if not all NBA for some of these guys. And the tertiary pieces are doing their jobs, getting it done on this trip.
Tertiary. Good word,
Ooh.
Brendan. As Brendan joining us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Brendan, I had a segment maybe 2 segments ago where I was talking about De'Aaron, and I'm like, look, Sacramento, you've got a superstar. I don't think he's a star anymore. I think he's a superstar. I think he's so comfortable in everything he's doing, from leadership to picking the right time in a game to take over, to scoring, to his defense. I don't know what he's missing, with obviously the exception, Brendan, of long-term playoff success, but I think he gives the Kings a chance to win every single night.
Yeah, I think he does too. And I think you're spot on. That's really the only thing he's missing, is continuing to prove it in the postseason. But even last year, his first appearance, he was phenomenal in that first game. He was great until he had the thumb injury, So I'm with you, Jason. He's right there leading the league in points if he was technically eligible with games played, tied with Joel Embiid at 31.9. The three-point shot that I honestly had gotten to the point where I was like, well, De'Aaron, if he never shoots, he still can do X, Y, and Z. He's still a really good player. Now he's up to 8.6 three-point attempts per game and knocking down 41.7% of them. And this is only through 7 games. But there was a lot of progress last year, I thought. And I think it's just continued to build off that. A lot of work he did with Luke Laux throughout the course of the summer. So I think it's the 3 things. It's the three-point shot. It's consistency, not waiting until the fourth quarter or the second half to really, really turn it on for De'Aaron. And the defense. He's the head of the snake, as they always refer to him. point of attack defender. And I think those three aspects, he's been amazing. He is knocking on superstardom, if not already there.
Yeah, I remember I was saying this too. I remember working with Doug Christie before Doug was now on the coaching staff, but he kept saying De'Aaron has the ability to be an elite defender. And I thought, well, yeah, yes, I guess, but I didn't personally think I saw it enough. I said, yeah, you'll see it. Like some nights he'll ratchet it up. And you're like, okay, I see that. But then there'll be other nights where you went, wait, why did point guard X go for 28 tonight? That doesn't really make any sense. It wasn't a high level point guard that would come in. So that part was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Now I think he is so locked in. There were moments last night where he was taking on the challenge, Brendan, of Kyrie or Luka and having his share of success. I think he's really recognized how good he can be on that end too.
Yeah, he has. He has good size. Excuse me. He has good strength. Consider like he doesn't look like he necessarily would compared to these other NBA athletes, but I think he has good strength. His hands have been great. He's at 1.9 steals a game. I know they don't necessarily love steals specifically. They're more in deflections and verticalities rather than steals and blocks, but still shows for something. I think that he's had super active hands. There's at least one possession a game, I feel like, where somebody's trying to post him up or backing into him, and he just pokes it out. And obviously that's a free transition layup for what might be the fastest guy in the league. Like, he's totally bought in. This feels like Devin Booker's conversation from 3 years ago all over again, no?
Yeah, I mean, at some point, the door breaks down, and that's where I don't know how else to say it, Brendan, but I just felt like everything is lined up, whether it's even in his life, like married, child, he seems really happy there, which, you root for that for anybody, but just professionally, he's matched up his gifts of being the fastest player, his talents with his experience, and he's now been through it all as far as success, failures, win streaks, losing streaks, different coaches. I just think he's fully comfortable every night when he steps on the floor.
He definitely looks like it. I love his swagger that he plays with. He's always talking. And he's always been like that. My favorite is when he does something and maybe he's made a couple in a row and then he starts to get this little skip in his step as he's going back down the floor. He's turning and talking to fans. This is always how De'Aaron has been, right? Yeah. So I've loved that aspect. And I think a lot of this process and progress credit should go to De'Aaron, but don't overlook what the coaching staff did in this. I think Mike Brown has been instrumental in De'Aaron's development, challenging him to be that level of defender. Luke Laux has been huge in helping with that jump shot. Their coaching staff is phenomenal. I almost feel like it doesn't get talked about enough. Like Jay Triano's sitting right there, been a head coach before. Jordy Fernandez, probably going to be a head coach next year. Their coaching staff has been huge in De'Aaron's development. So it's a credit to the both of them.
I'm glad you said that, and I did bring that up. I still love this quote from De'Aaron last year, and you might have even been there when he said it, but he said, sometimes Mike says stuff that makes us feel like we're better than we are. And I'm like, wait, why are you doubting yourself? I mean, the coach would push him, and he said, look, we've got 2 All-Stars. Then he would go, look, we've got 2 All-NBA players. Now he's talking about, look, we've got an MVP candidate. And I think Mike Brown keeps pushing that ceiling on De'Aaron because he knows that he can be elite. And I think now De'Aaron's starting to see that too. And I agree with you, Brandon. I think Coach Brown and that staff deserve a ton of credit in his and this team's development.
Yeah, I mean, it's, fake it till you make it, I guess. And De'Aaron has the capabilities. So I think he's totally embraced it, and he's looked phenomenal while doing so, and the team is going to go as far as he can. Like, since Mike Brown came here, he wasn't just talking about making the playoffs, breaking the drought. He was talking about how are we going to eventually win a championship? And that's where they're trying to work towards. And, a lot of times you look at it and it's like, well, if they can get a third head to the snake, then maybe they're right there. Well, maybe if you actually all of a sudden have a top 10 player on your team, that changes this conversation.
Yeah, and I think it's as it's developed, because I'm with you. I think we all do this. I mean, especially when we're talking Kings 12 months out of the year, you're thinking, okay, Fox has jumped. Sabonis certainly has jumped. You got 2 All-NBA type guys. And then we're all kind of throwing Keegan in there as the third. And I know I went, well, yeah, probably offensively. I didn't even think about Keegan's defense. Not that it was a problem, plus or minus. I just well, he'll probably get better as an offensive player. But now him defensively has almost kind of changed some of the metrics that, hey, maybe there can be some other points of emphasis for Monty and Wes as far as what they want to add to the team if Keegan truly is becoming another guy they can count on defensively.
Yeah, I still think when you make your big swing, it probably makes sense for it to be another wing. I still think at some point this team will do that. It's how Monty McNair and teams that come from under why can't Daryl Morey typically build out their rosters, and it's how they got Sabonis. It's how they got Malik Monk, they signed Malik, but how they got Kevin Huerter, how they've got Chris Duarte, Sasha Vezenkov. I think eventually they will make another trade, but Keegan's defense has really come out of nowhere, from putting him on Steph Curry and Donovan Mitchell to then putting him on LeBron James, or last night putting him on Luka. And he's embracing these challenges. He's 6'8". He's got great length. And when a guy crosses half court and Keegan's down in a stance, ready to pick him up and make him work, that's different. That's very different. And I think that playing one-on-one with De'Aaron Fox this offseason did so much for that. There's a lot of aspects I think you can see it. Keegan tries to do a move all the time where he's driving into the paint and just tries to stop on a dime, and he almost looks so uncomfortable. And I'm like, why does he try to do that? And I watch, I'm like, wait, that's De'Aaron's move that he's kind of trying to do, I think. But I think playing ones with De'Aaron did a lot for him throughout the course of this offseason. If you can stay in front of the quickest guy in the league, what are these other challenges?
Yeah, I agree. And then, that's creative work by also now the coaching staff putting faith in Keegan as a defender. So again, back to the coaching staff, Brendan, I remember a moment Friday, I know Fox and Sabonis are allowing to be the coaches to coach him and coach him hard and get after him. And that we've seen that, but it hasn't been as visible. The one that got me Friday, Kings got off the terrible start, 23-5 to the Spurs. What are you doing? Just not ready to go. And there were a couple of loose balls, and one was on the floor that took Harrison Barnes about a week to get to. And I don't know. Sometimes it feels like some players maybe are off limits, or there's so much respect for them. We won't yell at that player. But I saw Mike Brown get into it with Harrison Barnes. I'm like, all right, he's not going to hold back on anybody. And I'm sure Harrison didn't love it, but that doesn't matter. It's the fact that Coach Brown, he's gonna go after everyone. I think that's appreciated, even though if it may not be loved in that moment.
Yeah, it's accountability, right?
Yep.
And, Coach jokes around at times, saying, Keegan might hate him sometimes, but he likes that. It's a good thing, and these guys all know where he's coming from. It's nothing personal with him. And I think he does it to everybody, but I do think it is more so with Fox and Domas, because he always references how Popovich was so hard on Tim Duncan, and everybody else had to fall in line because, well, if Tim Duncan's getting treated that way, and just taking it, then I guess I got to do the same, So I think that De'Aaron and Domas are sort of that parallel and do embrace this style of coaching, because there's some players that this style of coaching would not work with, that they just would not be okay with getting yelled at that way and the accountability looking like that. But if it works for your stars, I kind of think everybody else not has to, but is more likely to fall in line.
Yeah, if you're the rogue player that, snaps back, or that's just a bad look on the team. I think the team would also self-police that, don't you?
Yeah, I think the only thing that could happen within teams is if you had just a group, say there's 3 of them that are all talking amongst themselves, but I don't think that's happening this year or anything.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any signs of that. All right, Brendan, hang tight. We got more with Brendan Nunez, our Sactown Sports Kings insider. We'll take a quick break. We're back with more with Brendan right after this on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Shop the lowest prices of the year on select major appliances and save an extra $100 for every $800 you spend on select major appliances. Plus, get your home ready for the season with Holiday Living 100-count LED string lights. Was $8.98, now $4.98. Because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline, Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Up with 7 on the shot clock. Challenged by Luka. Out to the logo. 4 on the clock. Shakes left. Drives right. Gets past Luka. Drops it inside. Hammer thrown down big time by JaVale McGee. And they were out of time. Makes it 112-98. Malik with the assist.
Another win yesterday for the Sacramento Kings. They try to make it 7 in a row. Now 8-4. Remember, after they lost those 2 to Houston, they were 13th. They keep moving up the ladder here in the Western Conference with another 129-113 win yesterday over Dallas. Jason Ross joined again by our Sactown Sports insider for the Kings, Brendan Nunez. Brendan, so look, we've been heaping all sorts of positives on the Kings, and I think really right now all the news is good. The only thing, a couple of injuries have literally hurt the team. Obviously, we saw De'Aaron out for 5. We know Alex Len's going to be out for a while. It sounds like Lyles is getting closer, and Herter missing yesterday. That's unfortunate. It doesn't seem too long. You think Herter might be back here pretty quickly?
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be pretty quick. It sounded like there was a chance that he would go in yesterday's game, and then obviously they ended up rolling that one out. It could be tonight against New Orleans, but I think we'll see. That one doesn't sound too serious. Len, it does sound like it's going to be a little while. Trying to find it here again to remind me, but I think that James Ham was the one that reported that it was 6 to 8 weeks for Alex Len. A similar injury. Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks. Similar injury to what De'Aaron had, but almost sounds worse with that high ankle sprain.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trey Lyles, yeah, he's working himself back into conditioning. Coach Brown is pretty adamant that he likes people to go through a full practice before they end up participating in a game. So it would surprise me if it's like the second night of a back-to-back that Trey came back, for example. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like that's supposed to be soon, but I swear, Jason, it feels like it's supposed to be soon for
for a while now.
A couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, then, what would you say this team is missing? What else? I mean, there's always areas of improvement, but what would you say now that we've seen, 12 games, long season still to go, but what's missing from the Kings right now?
It's probably consistency, right? Like you have those Rockets games mixed in there, and obviously no De'Aaron in those games stands out, but I still think you should have been better. Like if you're talking, they're 11th in offensive rating, and that's great. I think that's going to end up even higher. They're 14th in defensive rating. Like the defensive progress has been real. They've embraced that physicality. They've been big on rebounding on both ends of the ball, and I think they've been communicating well. There's so many individual aspects of improved defense, right? We talked about De'Aaron's individual defense. I think Domas has been great in his verticality. We talked about Keegan's defense. I feel like Kevin has been rebounding the ball really well. There's been a lot of individual progress throughout the course of the team that I think has led to a better collective. But, it's probably just consistency right now because you really are flirting with being one of the top teams in the league. I still don't know if we're talking like what the jump would need to be to make your way into championship contention. It honestly is probably another guy. But maybe, again, consistency. If De'Aaron can consistently be one of the top scorers in the league and do what we've seen him do so far through these games, like maybe they are knocking on the door.
Yeah, I've had this feeling this year, and you've kind of already addressed it, Brendan. I think if this progresses as it's going, so I don't know what the record would be, but I think the way they're playing in this stretch right now, and you brought up the defensive metrics are literally better. I think the optics are better, and we know they're a pretty special offensive team. And the fact that Sabonis and Fox are playing like all-stars. So I think if that's the baseline, and let's just assume, I'll give them kind of where they were a year ago, about a 3 seed and a team that's going to win 45 to 55 games, somewhere in there. If that's kind of the parameter, I really do think they're going to strike and make a move. And that move could be a significant one to go. Look, we might be really close, a lot closer than people think. And they might think they're, I don't know if it's the player away, but another player to jump them up with even more certainty of being a team in contention.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that starting group, and it's like I think that Keegan, I would imagine that the defensive effort is affecting that shot a little bit. I think that will end up coming around, but what you're getting from De'Aaron and Domas, and I think Keegan is the third guy there. It's Kevin and Harrison after that, right? And then you throw Malik in there as well. You don't know on a nightly basis necessarily what you're getting from those guys offensively. I think that who they are as players and how they're going to play stylistically, but I don't think you know what you're getting every single night. And I think that that's where you could look to make an improvement if you think that you're already, again, knocking at the door and potentially ready to make that next jump. I'm ready for OG Anunoby conversations to start up again. Maybe not right now, but as the deadline gets closer, because expiring contract, does Toronto potentially want to risk him walking for nothing? We know it's somebody that Sacramento likes, and I think he'd be a great fit on this team.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Raptors right now. To your point, they're 6-7. I mean, nobody's out of anything at this point. It's far too early, but I mean, that's not, thriving at this point where you go, hey, we've got a good thing. We can't move pieces. If they kind of stay in that mid-range, near 500, flirting with the back end of the top 10 in the East, maybe it gives them even more incentive to make a move.
Yeah, and someone in the chat pointing out, don't they ask for too much for OG? I mean, I think when it's only half a year, that conversation probably changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still are a team that's known for trying to get the most out of it, which is always funny to me. Like, every team is that way, right? But Toronto certainly gets a rep for being that way. So I think the price could be different as we get closer. And I also will say, I think we've seen this front office be super patient. How many seasons or off seasons and trade deadlines past where it was like, they got to move on from Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
Like, we all knew the writing was on the wall, but they were patient and they waited for the right move. And I think that this front office has shown that they're willing to be patient, but aggressive at the same time. And, maybe it's not a big swing. Maybe it's something small. Maybe it's Alex Caruso. Maybe it's smaller. Maybe it's like a Torrey Craig on Chicago or something. They could go make some small moves because they have most of this team locked up for 3 years, 3+ years. It's really just Malik.
Yeah, they were the most patient team last year, and maybe the critics on trade deadline, when you're seeing Kyrie going to Dallas, when you're seeing Durant going to Phoenix, you're seeing, these are major moves that are happening in your conference, in your division. The Clippers getting Westbrook, and you see everybody making all these switches. But the odd thing, Brandon, I think by them staying the course, kept that continuity and consistency, and they just moved past everybody while everybody was trying to figure out how to play together.
Yeah, and it was kind of scary at the beginning of the year because I had that thought process too. If they have this continuity, like, they should get off to a good start. I think that's going to be really important for them because other teams are going to click eventually and probably got better, and some will probably have gotten worse that we didn't expect. But that start scared me a little bit, and they've rolled off 6 straight since, and are just killing it right now. Like, De'Aaron being active is huge. He's playing at a ridiculous level. They look like they've been playing together. At first it was like, oh gosh, like, there's slight changes to the offense. Why does it not look right? And the defense, like, they're just kind of fouling everybody, and it's clicked pretty quickly. But you have to keep it up. Like, remember how bad it felt after that second Houston loss and how good it feels right now.
Right.
It's going to be a roller coaster ride throughout the course of the whole year. That's how the NBA works.
For sure. And it might even be on this rest. I think this is a difficult finish to the road trip. I'm glad they got the first 3. Tonight's second night of a back-to-back. I think the Pelicans are hurt a little bit without CJ. Zion rested the last game. You got to figure he's playing today. But I think this one, and just staying in New Orleans, look, that was a trouble spot before with the 2 days in Houston. And then to finish with Minnesota, who suddenly is the best team in the West. I think the back 3 of this road trip is pretty tough.
Yeah, the Minnesota game I'm really excited for.
Me too.
I think this could be a huge game if you care about the in-season tournament, which I have come around to caring about the in-season tournament.
You're there?
I am.
Okay.
It actually happened for me pretty quick.
Okay.
Once it was here, I was like, screw it. Why not win it? Yeah. I think there's a competitive nature of these guys. And somebody pointed out, I forget what player it was. I think it was Dame Lillard, that, the 500K might not mean a lot to him, but it's going to mean a lot to the guys at the end of the roster. You don't think Jalen Slauson and Keon Ellis are going to love getting 500K?
Right.
And the star players can win that for them. So I do think there's some incentive there for sure, but that Minnesota game is huge. They're leading the league in defensive rating. Actually, they fall into 3rd now. They're clicking on all cylinders, and that's a team that really had Sacramento's number last year. That might have been the team they matched up with the worst throughout the course of last season. So no, don't mean to look past these New Orleans games because I don't think they're going to be a breeze or anything. They're a very weird team. Just barely lost to Minnesota after beating Denver and Dallas. So they're a solid team, but so was Dallas. Dallas was a good offense, and Sacramento managed to contain them. So the Pelicans games will be fun and entertaining and competitive for sure, but I'm really counting down to that Minnesota game. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and that gets back to kind of talking about, you make a big move, you make a subtle move that helps on the edges, and I think Minnesota did that last year. Like, there were so many other names that moved around, but the stability of Mike Conley going to them with what they already done. They'd already got Gobert, they had Towns healthy now, and then Edwards has developed into kind of what Fox, like that star. He's a star. And so putting it together with keeping the coaching staff and working on things and the defense, and here's Minnesota. So you're right, and I still think, Brendan, about the in-season tournament, that it's going to get even better when you get to that knockout stage. I think that's the real charm of the tournament. We just haven't gotten to that stage yet.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it works. I think there's also a chunk in the schedule that they still technically have to figure out for every team based on how this standing works. So I'm interested to see how that ends up working out. But I'm hoping we get to make a trip to Vegas, Jason.
Yes, that's right. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Vegas? And it's not 145 degrees like it is in the summer league.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what are you working on?
Who doesn't want to go to Vegas is the F1 drivers, by the way.
Well, I know, huh? How about that? What are you working on next here for us on Sactown Sports?
I think later today, going to have something about, just De'Aaron's recent outbreak and how much he's just been taking the league by storm and doing it all on both ends of the floor. It's either going to be that or something on the defense. So we'll see. Something later today.
Well, you have options, because right now this team has given you content and some options to write about. It doesn't always have to be positive, but right now a lot of things are positive for the Kings.
Yes, a lot of things. Totally rolling right now and just about keeping it up.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Brendan, we appreciate your time as always. We encourage everybody to check out your work. You and Frankie do an awesome job there on Sactown Sports, and we will talk to you next week.
Yeah, shout out to the Cowboy.
There you go. That's right. Hopefully Frankie's feeling better. Thank you to Brendan Nunez. We will take the break here. Come back. 4 down territory when we return right here on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown